Lost track of time. Anyway, take a moment of zen. We're good. You're good. I'm good. We're good. We're good. It's a beautiful start to the day. But boy, do we have some stuff to talk about today on Coffee Talk. You know, you think you know a guy or a season. You think you know a month. You're like, November. I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Nicole's landfall in Central Florida. And it's so nice and quiet. You think. And then the models keep talking about stuff, and you're like, all right, maybe I don't ignore it. So we've got some tropics to talk about, but let's put that on the back burner and just kind of enjoy this gorgeous, gorgeous start to the day. There's a shot over in Daytona Beach. Oh, man, is that pretty? A couple of clouds over top of us. A lovely, lovely start to the day. Those clouds are indicating some showers off the shoreline. Let me put the radar in loop, and you can see that rain off the shoreline there of Volusia and Flagler counties. Not going to bother us, though, but it's at least around. Temperatures around town. Look at how lovely this is. 69 in Orlando, 66 degrees in Sanford. It's 69 in Melbourne, Titusville, 64 outside in New Smyrna Beach and in Daytona Beach, and 61 in Palm Coast. So it is looking good in the neighborhood. Where do we go later today? Partly cloudy skies, looking fantastic. 80 degrees at 11 o'clock, 82 1 p.m. And we'll top off in the mid-range of the 80s there at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So, yeah, it's looking really nice. It's looking really, really nice across town. Temperatures indeed running above average. Today's average high has dropped to 79. The actual high temperature is still warmer, though. 84 in the city, 85 in the villages and Wildwood. Along the shoreline, we're sitting at about 80, 81, 82. So it is a lovely, lovely start to the day. It's going to be a lovely, warm day. And that's not even, ironically enough, that's not even the warmest day. As a matter of fact, temperatures getting even warmer come tomorrow. Look at the forecast. Look at the records. We're going to be awful close in Orlando to a record set back in 1895. Sanford, you'll be awful close. Leesburg, I think you'll tie a record. Daytona Beach, a little bit of a gap. Melbourne, a little bit of a gap. So, yeah, a little bit of heat in Central Florida. What's going on? Warm air as high pressure has shifted east of us. That has prevented cold fronts from moving in. So basically, we've got an area of high pressure out here, all right? And that wraparound wind flow is giving us that warmer breeze. And as a matter of fact, as that high continues to shift, it's going to be more of like a southerly, even eventually southwesterly breeze. So that blocks fronts from getting in here, and it just basically keeps us nice and warm over these next couple of days. Yeah, through the weekend, keeping those temperatures hot, hot, hot. Good times. Good times. So, making plans to be outside. Plan for the warmth, right? Let's take a look at the UCF football game forecast. Listen, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna be at the stadium doing it. Forecast for UCF looking good. Couple of sprinkles, perhaps. Otherwise, warm temperatures. Yeah. We're just blocking these fronts from coming through. So take a look. We'll start with the 7-day forecast. We'll kind of chat a little bit it up, chat it up a little bit. And there you go. You kind of see those temperatures warming and staying warm through the weekend. A sprinkle or two here or there. Now, there is finally a cold front that moves in Sunday into Monday. That's going to drop the temperatures just a little bit. It's not going to be a massive holy cannoli thing, but it's going to be a little bit of a change. So let's look at the differences here. We'll start with your Friday high temperatures, okay? Highs on Friday look like this. 87 degrees in Orlando, 86 in Sanford, 86 in Leesburg, 87 degrees in Ocala. All right? So there's that. Then we look at Monday high temperatures. All right? From 87 to 77. So there is a change. We're going to get there. There is a change, right? But, you know, going through this weekend, we're going to have a few showers, and we're also, of course, going to have those warm temperatures. So it's Veterans Day weekend. Remember to always, always thank a veteran for their service. A few showers here or there. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty nice forecast. So There you go. Brian says I'm going to be part of a Veterans Day program over at the Ocala Veterans Park tomorrow, Friday, November 10th. The program starts at 11 outside. What kind of weather expecting for tomorrow morning? Tomorrow morning's going to be nice, almost identical to where we're at right now. So, yeah, looks pretty good. Also, you see the difference. Like yesterday, I was on my computer's webcam, and I was blue, Abu Dhabi. Whereas now I'm on a bit of a nicer camera, a little bit more controlled lighting, and it's a little bit more of a professional look. You see the difference? I've got my professional microphone-ish microphone. It's the difference between being inside and outside. Yeah. Mickey says GFS is doing GFS things in the tropics, but it has been consistent. And that's the problem. Like, there's only so much that I can ignore it, and then I have to start saying, all right, crap, maybe there's something. So we're building up to that, Mickey, right? So forecast these next couple of days is looking pretty nice. It's going to be warm in Central Florida. Let's finish the local stuff, and then we can talk tropics, okay? This weekend getting warm. Little front moves through, bringing some showers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we have to look at next week, particularly mid to late week. See what's doing. All right? Is that why you wore a blue shirt? Ironically, that has nothing to... I just grabbed the blue shirt. Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, here we are. The tropics are quiet, but we're coming up on that 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Nicole's impacts on Central Florida. Wow. We're going to have live team coverage, by the way, on WESH 2 tomorrow throughout the day, starting in the morning, continuing through the afternoon, broadcasts, remembering those impacts. And, you know, one thing that is particularly of note is that's the positioning of the storm, but who got such major impacts way up here, way removed from the center, Daytona Beach Shores area. So to me, if there's nothing more that we learn from this storm system, and there really are several notes there. You know, the first note, hurricanes can hit in November. Second note, you can be way removed from the center of circulation and have some of the worst impacts. Every storm is different, right? So we have to remember that, okay? Now, when we talk about the tropics, let's just look at the kind of map right now and see what's doing, all right? So there's a look at the wide map. During the month of November, you really close in your areas to watch, all right? We'll come back to this map in a moment. Let's just look at the November tropical development map, okay? Usually during the month of November, you love watching Central America into the Caribbean, around Cuba, kind of looping up. And yes, sometimes they're a little to the left of that, meaning sometimes they hang out a little closer to Florida, okay? So that's that. Right now in the tropics, at this moment in time, there's nothing to watch. No development expected within the next 7 days' time. Expected being the key word there, okay? But what do the models show? If you've watched Coffee Talk, you know, last couple of days on and off, we've kind of been showing the computer models. Haven't really gone crazy because GFS is doing GFS things. But let's look at the GFS this morning. Consistently showing a little piece of low pressure developing in the Gulf of Mexico and moving through that very typical November time frame, that path. All right, so that's Thursday 1 p.m. That's Friday. This is the 17th, so we're a week out. I mean, it started way out, but like this is 159 hours out. That's not way out anymore. It's interesting. Okay? It's interesting. Again, not any development expected over the next 7 days' time, but that's going to be something interesting to watch. And then that moves out, and then look at what happens right afterward. Cold front. Love that. Yukon says the models show nice and pretty things. Then when you go to buy the house, you get boring. I mean, that's fine. I don't want to deal with any more tropical stuff. Let's look one model run back. Consistent. Let's go 2 model runs back. Pretty consistent. 3 model runs back. Pretty consistent. 4 model runs back. Pretty consistent. So interesting that that's what the GFS is showing. Let's look at the operational European. Trying to show something, but later and weaker. So this is where the ensembles work in our favor, right? This is where we can look in. Now, if you're unfamiliar, if you're new to Coffee Talk, if you're new to tracking the tropics, the ensembles are, think of it as, I want ice cream. Okay, you get a scoop of ice cream. Well, now you want Baskin Robbins. You want all the flavors. Think of it as that. The GFS with all different versions of the GFS. And so we can stack them on top of each other and get an idea of what the models are trying to say. Because the GFS is just one model. Why don't we take the GFS, make some minor tweaks, and get 50 different models, right? So I present to you the GFS ensemble. All right. Watch the bottom of the screen. We're starting to see some of those ensemble members. You see all those dots? Those little L's, those are model runs showing low pressure. And you can see that, you know, the circles are kind of all over the place. So what we end up with, you see those lows kind of spreading. You know, there's different ways to visualize this. But essentially, the tighter compact they are, the higher the confidence is. And you see them kind of spreading. So some are toward Florida, some are toward like the Dominican Republic and Haiti, Puerto Rico, some are right through Cuba. But there's definitely many of the ensemble members, and I'm not going to sit here and count all the little red L's, but there's many of these ensemble members that are showing something late next week into the weekend. And then it's kind of driven by a cold front that moves through. So that's the GFS ensembles. Let's switch over and let's look at the European ensembles. You see a bunch of those L's kind of coming alive, right? So that's what's also kind of interesting. Oh my God, that's a mess. Like what? It's got this idea where Friday, you know, some weak lows, and then some ensemble members have it just something kind of just sitting there and being stuck around Cuba and then lifting around. So this is where it gets interesting, though, because the European operational does not show anything, whereas the European ensembles are showing stuff. You know, so that's where there's the power of ensembles. Now we can go in deeper. Let's look at the Canadian operational. The Canadian operational is trying to develop something, but a little bit later. Let's look at the Canadian ensemble. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely ensemble members showing stuff, isn't there? Right? So there's definitely data to support something. Nadika says GFS is crazy, Eric. I mean, they all are showing something. So, you know, we need to watch the Caribbean next week. Does something hit Florida? Gosh, I hope not. I don't want to deal with that crap. But it could happen. You know, particularly when you think about how the direction of travel absolutely lines up with our norms in the month of November, right? Wouldn't that just be so perfect? Vince is the next name on the list. Vince is the next name on the list. Mickey's asking about the BSR. Yeah, so we can definitely look at that and just kind of get an idea. Long range technique that we use. Give me a few seconds to get it set up. All right. BSR. Now, BSR, Bering Sea Rule. So this is one of our long range forecasting techniques. That is 12Z October 27th. So that would be early next week, showing something in the Gulf. That's about next Thursday. There is a low south of Florida. You see that there? You see that there? That 992? There's something there. That's North Pacific surface analysis. Let's go to... I'm just curious to see... Give me a minute. Just need to move. Hold on a second. All right, so we just kind of roll this through. Yeah, not any huge, nothing huge. Yeah, I mean, there's a signal there, but nothing huge. So, I mean, there's a signal for it. Either way, you know, it's a good reminder to all of us, I think. Either way, development, not development, it's a good reminder that hurricane season runs for the next, 21 days. We're not done yet. So, definitely have to watch. So, let's just hope that that's the way that plays out. All right. Any questions about this? Questions, comments, concerns? Janet says, didn't think I'd have to be concerned about the tropics on the 20th flying to Denver. Important to note, none of the models that I'm seeing, at least the operational models, are not showing anything moving toward us. There's some ensembles that are getting a little, here and there, but operationally it's not looking too bad. So we'll see. We'll keep watching. Listen, the reason we watch the tropics is not to scare you. The reason we watch the tropics is to keep you informed. That way, should something try to develop, we've got you covered, right? That's the bottom line. We finished the hurricane season countdown before the Christmas countdown. Agreed. Oh, boy. Can you tell the difference between a hurricane or just a cold front on what? The BSR or what? What do we mean? Evelyn. What do we mean? Hey, while we're talking about that and all that fun stuff, CRS 29 tonight over at the Shoreline. Gonna have a nice launch at 8:28, right around the time I get my kids to bed. So I'll have to try and watch this one. 95% chance of good weather. CRS is cargo resupply, so that's all going up to the ISS, so that'll be fun. On the BSR, you're just tracking highs and lows. The way I look at it is you're looking at headlights on a foggy day, and you just don't know exactly what the type of headlights are. That's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah. All right. Campeche. So we'll watch. We'll keep you taken care of. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? Anything? Anything at all? Jennifer says end of hurricane season is the day after my birthday. Love it. Love it. I'm ready. I'm ready for the end of hurricane season. And I'm also, if I'm honest, I'm also ready for some cooler air, some showers around like early next week. We have a cold front like Monday, storm system kind of in the vicinity. And that cold front's going to help. I don't know why this... Oh, it has to go get the data. Yeah, go get the GFS data. That's okay. So, yeah, Monday into Tuesday, we'll be getting some showers around. Front will be kind of hanging around, so we'll have some showers around, but cooler temperatures. So that's fun. When we look at the GFS raw model data, for temperatures at least, give it a second. Give it a second. Give it a second. It's thinking. There we go. All right, so there's your raw GFS numbers. Mickey's asking for a first look at Thanksgiving. We're going to be probably starting to get a little milder between cold fronts, but it looks like a cold front moves through probably like Tuesday, Wednesday of Thanksgiving week. and then another cold front moves through like Friday, Saturday. So it looks like it should be nice in Central Florida and probably trending a little milder. That's where we're at. All right. I got headlights on a cloud. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there you go. There's some cooler temperatures. We've got our warm stuff Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the GFS is dropping it off a little bit. Let's look at the European numbers. Where are we? Yeah, dropping things off. I don't understand. There's something wrong with the graphing here. Like, why is 73 above 79? I don't know. This is a little fakakta here. Something ain't plotting right. I have to get my fake intern on it. I let him build this. I say I let him. I tasked him to build it, and the graphing is not right. We'll have to get fake intern to work on it. All right. Any other questions? Beth says, this is why I moved here. Oh, for sure. Listen, anytime I meet anybody who's like new to Central Florida, I'm like, you're going to probably end up over summer, during summer. But my God, these winters, you can't mess with this. Seriously, you can't mess with this. This is the good stuff. No, Yukon. It's fake intern. It's Ryan. Fake intern. We've had Ryan on Coffee Talk before. Yeah. Yeah, this is not bad. But you can see those shower chances. This is the actual forecast. You can see those shower chances rising and the temperatures dropping next week. So there's that. Julie says, starting to plan when I'll put my Christmas decorations outside. Yeah, I need to probably start doing the same thing. I think it was built by Name a Bad former Wesh Matt. Honest to God, as long as I've worked at Wesh, I can't think of a bad Met that we've had. Seriously. You know, we really had some good people move through here. I really can't think of a bad one. I mean, heck, I talked to Alex Alisi. I go flying with Alex Alisi. Good dude. Kyle Gravlin, love him. We had him on Coffee Talk last year. Like, I mean, right down to like the Ivan Cabreras of the world, the Leslie Hudsons of the world, the Amy Sweezys of the world. Like, who's bad? Marty Stebbins, rest in peace. Dan Satterfield, like, you know, as I think down the list of Wesh Mets, Brad Nitz, great dude. Who among us? Seriously. I can't think of a bad Wesh Met. Malachi Rogers, good dude. Man, if I had $1 every time I got a Malachi smile, I'd be a rich man. That boy does not smile. Been a good group of people. Seriously. It's been a good group of people. And then there's Tony. I can't decide if Tony's my super annoying, much older brother, or if he's just like another parental figure. I can't figure it out. Either way, Tony's a good dude. He's a putz, but he's a good dude. Yeah, Chris, Dave Marsh. Like, we had Dave Marsh on Coffee Talk last year. Great guy. Find me. I don't know if there's been a bad one. I don't know. Yukon says Malachi was great. When I would visit Asheville, would tune in and watch him. Yeah. Is he still on TV up there? Tony Bag of Donuts. Bada bing. It's funny. Every day he and I have... Every day we have our morning conferences. If you look in my phone, like every day, Tony Manolfi, the wife, some friends, Tony Manolfi, every day. We've had some good Mets. Let's see. Sure, Miss Alex. I do too. I adore that guy. What can I say? We'll have to get, we've talked about this. One of the Coffee Talk drive-thrus in the quiet season here is going to be Alex and I are just going to do a little flight. And we're going to talk on the flight. And that's going to be it. Alex doesn't know it yet, but that's what it's going to be. And I'm going to tell Alex, you got to keep it clean. Because his joke was always that if he ever used a bad word on TV, he would just go fly airplanes, and now he's obviously just going to go fly airplanes. So I joked with him. I'm just like, when I get you on Coffee Talk, just because you're not employed there, I still have mouths to feed, so do your thing. So anyway, Jacqueline did weather. Yes, she was not a meteorologist, though she had a minor in weather. And I would also say she was amazing. She was amazing. We've had her on the drive-thru. I love Jacqueline. That's my girl. You're going to have Amy on the drive-thru. But because she freelances for another TV station in town, I don't know that my management would like that. I don't know. I have to figure that one out. I have to navigate that. Nancy, thanks for hanging out at the Lake Nona High School Steam Night. Everyone loved you being there. Well, thank you. I loved being there. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of, I met some really great folks, and I swear there's two people in particular that I met last night, 2 high schoolers, and I'm like, you know what? I could see these people doing weather. TV, government, private industry, whatever. But there were a couple of people I met, and I was like, you know what? I could see those folks doing weather. So that's what nights like last night was, and I look forward to doing more. Yeah, she's an equal opportunity freelancer. Exactly. Frank, I don't live there, so I don't know she was it's not that she's a trade. Look, it's not. There's only so many people that are good and do TV weather. I have no. Listen, I actually owe her a lunch. She and I were supposed to grab. Hold on. Let me text her while it's top of mind. Hey, friend. Still need to grab that lunch, LOL. Okay. Even though he never worked at Wesh, Danny Trainer would be fun on a drive-thru. He actually would. He's the reason that I do weather on TV. And isn't Wesh the only station he never worked at? So it'd be fitting to get him on TV. And find Pamela Brady. Ask Jacqueline what her snacks are today. Jacqueline's doing so great at CBS Sports down in Miami. We're getting to that season, right? We're getting to that season. You know who I need to have on too? I need to have on James Paul Dice. He was a long-time meteorologist in Alabama at several stations there. He worked at WCJB in Gainesville. Now he's kind of reinventing himself. He's flying corporate jets. He's filling in on his old TV station doing weather. And he's doing real estate, brokering airplanes. It'd be interesting to just check in with someone like him who's done the weather thing and moved on as well. That's kind of the direction that Alex Alisi wants to go. Brian, I remember one time when Dan Billow had to substitute doing the weather because their regular scheduled meteorologist lost their voice during the actual broadcast early in the show. I forgot who Dan Billow had to sub for. Dan went and got his meteorology degree. He and I went through the same program. So Dan was a meteorologist, yeah. I had Glenn Richards on the drive-thru, Chris. I absolutely had Glenn Richards on. And what's fun is, so Danny Trainer is the guy that I would watch when I was like, yay, what do they say, knee-high to a grasshopper? And my first internship was with Glenn Richards. Glenn was the guy that got me that door open. Years and years ago. That's okay, Chris, old age forgot. You're fine, buddy. You're fine. And I don't want to annoy these folks that are in retirement too much, Every couple of years I'll grab them. Lori, it's funny you say that, though, because, he was a favorite. But do you know why he was a favorite? Because he was personable. And I think that maybe that's what I try to bring to the table. Is a personable approach to weather. And I certainly got that from folks like Danny Trainer. I was talking to Kellyanne. So Kellyanne has some favorite meteorologists. And so she sent me one of her favorite meteorologists a video clip. And I said to her, I said to her, I texted her back, and let me find these texts. She sent me a video clip of the guy, okay? And he was talking about firing an intern. And I was like, I love that guy. I grew up watching him when he worked in Orlando. And so Kellyanne, unannounced yesterday. So she responded, that's hilarious. I didn't know he was in Orlando. And so unannounced yesterday, or was it today? Hold on. It was yesterday. Last night, she says, want to feel old? I said, sure. And she said, so Pete Delkus is the meteorologist's name. She said, the year Pete Delkus started in Orlando is the year I was born. Now, as a kid, I watched all the meteorologists in Orlando on all the stations and tried to learn. But it's just funny. She had no idea he worked in Orlando. And meanwhile, when she sends a video, I'm like, oh my God, I love that guy. I loved watching him when he was here. I know the story of how he got into weather. He was a sports intern and randomly got thrown into weather. Anyway, just one of those moments where, yes, Kellyanne, that makes me feel old. Thanks. Hey, we love being annoyed in retirement. Yeah, I know, Chris, but I know. Mickey, let's get some storm chasers. Reed Timmer, eyesight. That would be fun. In the off season, that would be fun. Get Mike from Mike's weather page. I know Mike from Mike's weather page hangs out in coffee talk chats sometimes. I see him pop in here. So we'll have to do that. We'll have to do Reed Timmer would be fun. Dr. Reed Timmer. It would be fun to get Josh Morgerman. Yeah. Have you and Tony done a drive-through or coffee talk together? Have we? You got to understand, Manolfi was there at my wedding. He was there. He was there watching me propose to my wife. This is Manolfi and I. So, I just feel like he's always, the itch that I always have to scratch. So, I don't know. Have we done a coffee talk drive-through together? I can't even remember. Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel would be fun. You know what else would be fun is to try and get someone from the National Hurricane Center, Jamie Rome, or someone to that effect. That would be fun. And you know what? We've had Phil Klotzbach on to talk about his forecast, but to get him for a drive-through to just talk about who he is, how he got into weather, that would be fun. I'll have to email him. That would be fun. Didn't your mother teach you not to scratch people? I know. So these are all right. So these are ideas for the off season. I like it. We're almost there. We're not quite there. Mark, I follow Mark on Jeff. I follow Mark on social. Mark would be fun. Yeah, just people that it would be fun to talk to people. Mickey says yes, you have with Tony. I remember him walking in the morning and. Oh, yes. And then do the drive-thru by the pool. Yes. You know who else would be fun is to try and get a launch weather officer. That would be fun. A fun, productive morning. Right, Cindy? I like it. We're planning the future together. Right? Brainstorming session for coffee talk. Yeah, the drive-thru, we'll probably start it. I'm going to guess we'll probably start it the week after Thanksgiving, something like that. Yeah. Yep. Make sure Cantori doesn't come in person. The problem is my connection to Jim Cantori was a girl he dated for a very long time, and they are no longer dating. So I have to work some other sources to get to Jim Cantori, which that shouldn't be a problem. I've met him several times. He doesn't know me from Adam, but I've met him several times. Dr. Levi Cowan of Tropical Tidbits. That would be a fun coffee talk. Although the problem is if I do coffee talk with him, he'll know I exist, and then I'll feel completely criticized and critiqued anytime he pops in, and he's just like, I'm so much smarter than you are, Burris. And I'm going to say, I know you are, Dr. Cowan. Oh, my God. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't think that there's any way that I can ever do that at all. Yukon says Cantori is too into himself. I bet he wouldn't do this little program. Listen, what's the worst that could happen? Guy says no. The days of me being afraid of rejection are gone. Listen, I'm married. I'll ask any girl out on a date. You know, I got a pretty one to marry me. Okay, that's how that happens. You know? So, do it. I'll ask anybody. An Air Force Hurricane Hunter, that would be fun, yeah. Yep, the answer is always no unless you ask. It's true. What about maybe a meteorologist that studies the weather on Mars? See, that's interesting too, right? Like someone from NASA or another organization, something like that. I like it. Yep. All right. Is Gail going to be the regular with you on the weekend? No, David. So Gail's filling in for Christina while Christina fills in for Sonica. So yeah, there's that. Mike, what about a redneck storm chaser? Mike from Mike's weather page, your name came up, buddy. You're going to do a coffee talk drive-through with me. I even said, I was like, I know Mike hangs out in here every now and then. Yes, a redneck storm chaser, we can have him. Now, I drink coffee in the morning. You can drink your coffee. You do whatever you want to do. Yeah, Mike, we're going to have you on. It'll be interesting to learn how Mike from Mike's weather page became a thing. I look forward to learning the story of. So maybe Mike will start with you. I don't know what your availability is, Mr. Family Man. That's most important, obviously. But like maybe the Friday after Thanksgiving. I don't know what you're up to, buddy. Not Black Friday. That we are still in tracking the tropics mode. But like maybe the next week. Or the week after, something like that. Maybe the first Friday of December. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll chat with you, Mike. Does that work for you? We can tape it too if we need to, although I know everybody wants to chat with you live. I would love to see Mike on Coffee Talk. We'll make it happen. Why not? A redneck storm chaser. Shoot, why not? Why not? Seeing as how I'm a native to San Fran is sort of redneck too. Listen, Bonnie. Anybody that lives in Florida, we tan our necks just a little too much. That's okay. We're all in this tropical thing together. So, we're doing what we got to do. Diane says his dogs have to make an appearance. Bring the whole family. Look, Coffee Talk is the least professional version of Wesh 2 that exists. Have a duel with that weather guy in Maine you had earlier. The duel is you say Campeche and he says Fundy and we both drink. That's right. Speaking of which. Isn't that funny? I just want to go back to Maine. That was so fun. All right, people. So, long story long, Coffee Talk drive-thru is going to be fun. And we need to watch the tropics next week, the Caribbean. Any other questions, comments, concerns? You know what I have to do today? I turned off my... This is embarrassing as heck. I turned off my blow-ups, my inflatables for Halloween. Those little things are still sitting in my yard undeflated. They're just still sitting there. So I need to go take those and put those away today. So that's on my task list. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. We're all going to be raging alcoholics for the end. I hope not, Taylor. I don't drink alcohol at all anymore. I'll have a sip or something, but I don't ever. I've not ordered an alcoholic beverage or had more than a couple of sips since my surgery. So I know I won't be an alcoholic. I do like a good sip though. Kelly says I judge you. It's my job. It's your job too. Yeah. Jessica says I got to pack up Halloween too. Okay. I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you all for hanging out for Coffee Talk. It's fun. This was a planning meeting. This is good. This is my life insurance paperwork that I need to work on. I keep holding it to try and remember myself what I need to do. Okay. I will chat with y'all later. Sound good? Take care. See you tomorrow morning on Coffee Talk. Ooh, I get to go flying today. November 5470 Kilo from 1 to 4 p.m. Yes.